Greetings guys, a warm welcome to you. Hey, thank you for joining me. Aries, this is your reading for March 2019. We are using quite a few different decks of cards and styles, and we'll just go with the flow. Whatever happens and comes out will be how it ends up. So no necessarily set perspective for all of the signs for this month. Everything's a wee bit different. I do encourage you to check your moon and rising signs as well, because you might find some really helpful and supportive information in there too. So we will start by using this deck. This is the Morgan Greer, and I have been shuffling for you guys just before this with intent, and these really don't want to shuffle much anymore, but let's see what's happening. There will be 4 of these ones, I think is the easiest format, and we will work from that. I'm also asking any of the archangels who want to come in and join us for messages and energy levels as well, and we will see who arrives for that. We've seen Michael in a couple of times, and there was a jumper, and he was the Page of Rods, so we will put him over there. So this is for March 2019 for Aries. Okay. Page of Rods, 2 of Swords, 3 of Cups, and the Hanged Man. Now I am using this deck as well, which is a full tarot deck. They are pixies and elementals, so they're not quite the same depictions, but they're rather beautiful. Let's see if any of the same cards turn up. Just shuffling here for Aries. And what messages would you like Aries to receive? One more perhaps. Okay. The 8 of Swords, the 10 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 7 of Swords. So I'm seeing quite a lot of swords come out for the readings, and it's making me think that there's a degree of, I don't know, like, is it background tension or just, you know, I don't know, argy-bargy stuff? And is it global, or is it something to do with the planetary lineups? I'd have to do a few more of the readings to really figure out what the connection is there. But so you guys, Aries, you've got 1, 2, 3 swords, a cup, a pentacles, or 2 cups, pentacles and a wand, and 1 major arcana and 1 ace. So let's see what these cards are going to bring out as clarifiers. Believe, St. Hildegard of Bingen. Don't compromise, St. Agnes of Rome. Sweetness, the guardian angel. And triumphant guardian angel as well. So, I think you can see most of those, but I'll just move the camera a little bit. If we can either read across the rows or down the columns, it doesn't really matter, but I'm looking for the columns mainly at the moment, and we see that Page of Rods. So we know that pages are like new offerings, new beginnings. They're messages that come to us about opportunities and something new, and they come with quite a nice, light, vibrant energy of possibilities and options, and people get, you know, feeling excited a little bit when the pages come in. Now this, because he's the wand, can be to do with careers or our creative perspectives in life. So there could be something new flowing to you guys in and around this beginning kind of period of March, either to do with your hobbies and creative passions or something around your career. For some of you, this can be the offer of a new job opportunity coming, or perhaps a new learning modality, or a new direction that you might be wanting to take. So maybe a promotion or a concept that's coming into your mind that can be structured and formatted over time into a new avenue or a new revenue earning sector. If we follow down beneath it, though, it's this Eight of Swords, and it says, you have what it takes if only you believe in yourself. Wow. And then the card beneath it was believe. So I did get the feeling that reading down the columns was quite important at this point, and that's definitely the message we've got here. Thinking that you're powerless when you're not, a lack of self-confidence that keeps you from getting what you want. So I really like her wording for the card. Traditionally, it's a woman standing with the 8 swords surrounding her, and she's blindfolded. Now, interestingly enough, we have another blindfolded up here, and it's still in the swords perspective. I also see that new moon above her, which could be talking about eclipses or moons that are affecting us and disabling us one way or another, keeping us unable to make decisions, which in turn keeps us powerless, which keeps us from moving forward. The momentum of movement forward can only be done when we make our mind up, when we make a decision and we take action. So this 8 of Winter here is a really beautiful message, a gorgeous card to look at with the Ice Queen standing on a block of ice, looking a little bit stuck in a situation, but still looking a little more positive than perhaps the traditional deck. So I like, as I say, her words. You have what it takes if only you believe in yourself. Thinking that you're powerless when you're not, a lack of self-confidence that keeps you from getting what you want. And then the card down here, this beautiful golden glowing, which really does overtake the darker blue one, says believe in yourself. So if any of you have been suffering from anxiety or tension or depression, which is what can happen when the 8 of Swords is out, have some more faith. Take some leaps of confidence or leap of faith forward. Take some certain activity or certain direction. If there's a situation around you that is creating confusion or feeling stressed or worried, do something about it. Don't just sit on the fence, because that's the next card up there, is that 2 of Swords, the procrastination, the fence sitting, the lack of ability to do something. So it's really important for you guys as March moves on that you uplift action and that you don't just sit back. Now another thing, I'm doing these readings sort of on the 11th of February. This is the week of Valentine's week, and Valentine's, if you remove the commercial perspective of it and the fact that a lot of people think of it just as romantic love, it is the week of love. So bringing love into situations can be very beneficial as well. If you put love out to something to help resolve it and to bring compassion to it and to bring movement to it, it's far better than putting out worry or anxiety or anger. So adding love into the spell could well bring about your answer, your insight, your awareness on how to resolve anything that you're dumbfounded about. So if we come up to this one with the 2 of Swords, we've briefly talked about her being fence-sitting, not able to really make the choices. She seemingly can't see which way to go. And it's interesting that the salt lamp is glowing on her face, almost blinding her. So I'm getting the feeling that she's being blinded by the light. She literally can't see through, you know, that saying, you can't see the forest for the trees, or you can't see the wood for the trees, or something like that. That's like what it is for her at the moment. There's light coming in, but she can't interpret it, or she can't see which way to go. So again, this is about following your intuition, listening closely to the messages that come in, and being brave enough to take that step forward and have the confidence and believe in a choice. You have to make a choice. And it's funny that in that top row at the very end, the Hanged Man also talks about having to make a choice. So it feels to me for you guys in March, there's something here where possibly you're sitting on the fence, but you know that you have to make this choice to go left or right, or take the high road or the low road. And until you do, things are slowing down, they're stagnating. So it's about understanding and realizing, having the faith, believing in yourself. And we get down here and we see don't compromise either. So you've got to take a bigger picture into the view than what you're looking at. So spread yourself further out, angle these swords more wide so that you have a wider viewpoint, because some of the perspective you're missing or you can't see with clarity, and that's what might be making you think, gosh, should I or shouldn't I? The Ten of Summits is an emotionally fulfilling life with family or friends, raising children wisely, and having people you can trust around you. So that's a beautiful card to come in here, and we see her, the Ten of Cups, diagonally connected to the Three of Cups up here. And that Three of Cups emulates a very similar energy about having trustworthy, beautiful friends around you, enjoying life's company and their support and network system as well. So some of you have this beautiful gift of wonderful friends around who can perhaps give you ideas or help or support, and the same with your own close family, especially if you have children in your life, obviously, and sometimes they extended out to things like grandparents and maybe your parents as well. Sometimes with that Ten of Cups, there's the feeling that there is someone there to help support, and possibly the feeling that there is a loving home life or home around you where you can feel nurtured and safe. It might be why you haven't, pushed hard enough with this fence sitting issue up here, or this choice you're making, because somewhere in the background there's this warmth or security or safety net behind you. So again, it's up to how you want to move forward and what choices you actually want to make, because you've kind of got this safety net in one side of you, but you've got another part that wants to push forward somewhere. When it says down the bottom, don't compromise, St. Agnes of Rome, it's about knowing that you don't have to compromise all the time. In life there can be more than one choice to make, and there can be more than one way to skin a cat or climb a mountain. So it could be about, as I said, this whole row, I keep getting this message, expand your viewpoint, look further afield, and then I don't think you will have to compromise with what these choices are you're trying to make. You could probably fit both of your choices or selections in, and I have a feeling some of it has to do with this creative perspective up here, or dynamic, or hobbies, or something along those lines. There's something in here about the compromise and knowing that the choices you're thinking you have to make, you don't. You have to broaden them out, look at the picture bigger, take more things into consideration. I think the new moon coming will play an effect on your energies and how you feel as well. If we come to this next one, it's a beautiful row with the Three of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Sweetness card here with your guardian angel around. So the Three of Cups is like a sweet card. It's gentle and loving and fun and harmony and happiness and girlfriends together. So some of you may be embarking on a trip or seeing friends that you might not have seen. There might be a gathering of you coming together for a happy occasion where you all enjoy each other's company, and you just think, wow, just love these supportive, nurturing friendships, and you gain a lot from it. You're supported, it's enjoyable, and it's fun. It's exactly what this card down here says. So somewhere in March, and if we were doing this as a timing event, which I haven't necessarily, but sometimes the cards do fall into a timing perspective, it looks like towards the latter part of March, this beautiful column, this gift from the universe of sweetness and happiness and togetherness and enjoyment. Now this Ace of Autumn says a windfall of money, advice or assistance from others, a very successful project, a happy change in your career. So, you know, we started off with the Page of Rods up at the very beginning. We've got another message in here about potential possibilities and positiveness around a career or creative project that you're on. The Ace of Pentacles is a wonderful card to receive because it does bode well for our finances and for our career options. So whether or not that's tied into the sweetness, maybe you get a really sweet deal offered to you. Maybe it's tied into also the whole friendship thing. So maybe those girls at the top are somehow associated with finances as well. Maybe they are cohorts in thinking, or a project that's going on, or an idea that comes forward, or this get together with these people stems some sort of new collaboration or instigation of energy and flow. If we come to the this one over here, you know, we've got another Swords card here, and this is the Seven of Swords. It's one of my least favourite, but we have the Hanged Man up here, your only major arcana, and we have the word triumphant down here, and it's a guardian angel looking over things. So the Seven of Winter says there is a better choice, not seeing things clearly and running away from the truth. So after all this fabulous energy here, we're back a little bit to this Two of Swords, you know, not facing the truth, not being able to see it with that blindfold on. The Seven of Swords often to me represents another person around, like someone you don't want to trust, someone who doesn't have the best of intentions. I don't think it's one of these people from up here, and I don't think it's associated with that whole energy there. This is more about, sometimes when this card turns up, there can be things like fraudsters around. There can be people who are trying to do something underhand, and it can represent things with your online persona, with bank accounts, with credit cards, with your passports, with things like that. So be very careful. Even though this card shows a beautiful young ice skater on a rink, you know, it's an attractive card to look at. It's a little bit deceptive because the energies of the card are not that positive. But this down here, and she's reaching up in a similar kind of pose in many ways as this. She's reaching up to say, I'm triumphant, I'm going to beat it. So if there's anybody around or anything that goes on, beware of fraudulent deals or scams, and especially like people knocking on your doors and saying, oh, I can come and clean your house or your roof. And I'm using that as an example because it's happening in New Zealand at the moment, and a lot of people have been scammed by a bunch of people that have come over from England. So that's an example of the type of energies this can represent. But somehow there's a triumphant success involved, suggesting that that Seven of Swords is not triumphant, that you see through it, that you manage to stay safe. That's what I'm thinking. Forewarned is forearmed in my belief system. So the Hanged Man at the top, as I sort of briefly said, because we're going back to him, he's not dissimilar to the Two of Swords when you get this feeling of a juxtaposition of not necessarily being certain where you are headed with an idea or a pathway or a belief system or anything. So he can mean that there is a stalling in the procedure. So something can be held up, and this could be documents that need to be signed. It could be the sale of a house, the purchase of something like a business, or dealings with someone. Communication could be held up as well, but don't worry about it. If it's meant to be held up the universe is dealing with this, so just let it be and accept it for what it is, and that's quite powerful as well. So the Hanged Man tells us that can be, a time of status, of non-movement, and I think that's wise, especially with this guy in the middle, the Seven of Winter, or the Seven of Swords. So be cautious about who you tell things to, about who you sign contracts with, and who you're dealing with, because someone is deceptive at this particular time, and it's someone that you could be dealing with. Someone or something that you could be dealing with. The Hanged Man can also come to us as an illuminator, feeling like we may want to look deeper into our own psychology, our awareness, our belief systems, and the direction we're going in life. So it can be a time of pivotal illumination, and finding that awareness, and sometimes at a very spiritual, personal level. So this could be happening for some of you as well. It might be that some of you could be being lured into going to see a guru, or follow a certain religious concept, or try this new holistic lifestyle. It could be great for you, and it could be that it's actually a hidden Seven of Swords, so just be careful what you choose to do. That Hanged Man can mean, from a health perspective, that there can be headaches sometimes, or things going on around your head and the top of your shoulders and your neck. You may need to go and have someone look at it, have sort of like a osteopath or chiropractor manipulate bones to free up some energy. So sometimes there can be energy blockages in and around the head and neck as well that stop you getting ideas and feelings and thoughts and flow of life energy. But overall, the only card in there that's causing like a glitch in the matrix is the Seven of Swords. But other than that, the other two are good cards, and the triumphant one looking up towards the Hanged Man, I think she's trying to join that energy together and cause this triumphant success, this merging of these two. It's like her hand connects with his head and creates some sort of triumphant epiphany or activation or awareness or energy as well. So again, this card could resemble low energy, and it might be that you need to do something to create the flow to get your energy back in March. So just remember all these points that are coming through in these messages, because when we call in that angelic vibrational energy to help with the reading, the messages come from a sort of like a cosmic disposition as well. So they're not just meanings of the card. But anyhow, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Please sub the channel and push the notification bell, because it's very difficult to get my videos at the moment. You may have seen a post I put up recently about the fact that they're just playing around with my channel. They seem to have deemed it something they want to occupy themselves with for a while. So whatever it is, there's not a lot that can be done. But for those of you who do want to hear the messages and do want to be engaged in this beautiful gift of passing on knowledge and awareness and activation and connectedness, the best way to do that is to push the little bell button for notifications. So hey guys, thank you for joining me. Check your moon and rising. I do wish you all a wonderful March. It looks intriguing. There's a lot going on, a lot of positives in there, and a lot of ways for you to deal with anything that is upsetting or disturbing the flow. So thank you. Much love. Namaste.